So the Yankees have some pretty tough decisions they're going to have to make real soon. Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. Happy Sunday. So Yankees are obviously coming off a 2-game losing streak to the hands at the hands of the Dodgers. They have a game 3 tonight, 7 p.m. I'll have the lineup on for you. But there are some decisions that are. This is becoming with this particular series against the Dodgers. It's becoming more apparent. And I thank everybody that's been joining the live streams, namely the live panel last night. And shout out to Jonathan too for the intel he's given me too. It's becoming more apparent that the Yankees have a couple of holes they need to address. And it's not because I don't like the players at all. It isn't. But there are 3 players that either need to be moved to the bench or moved to another team or done something with, right? Let's get over these players. And by the way, make sure if you're not subbed to this channel, please sub to this channel. If you happen to be a Yankee fan, this is definitely a place you want to sub to, okay? And hit all the notification, the alert buttons too if you do that. We're knocking on the door of 21,000 subs. Your support means the world. I'd love to welcome you to the 161 family, okay? Now, with that said, let's talk about these 3 players. We know, the obvious one, DJ Lemahieu just came back from a pretty long injured stint. And again, he's behind with his back, okay? No surprise there, but he's 35 years old. He's aging. And there are players on the team now on the roster that could probably be more productive than he is, like an Oswaldo Cabrera. And then once John Birdie comes back, like a John Birdie. We're missing the dynamic of the John Birdie here. Base stealing, run manufacturer. You know, he's a lot more athletic and mobile than DJ Lemahieu is. But I like DJ Lemahieu. He's a pro. He's a veteran. But at this point, it might be a wise idea to move him to the bench or just flip him into the utility position and either put John Birdie when he comes back at second base, and then you can put Oswaldo Cabrera at third base, and so on and so forth. Or you get somebody else. You go after a trade. If there's a trade happens to be available, I talked about this last night. You know, Ryan McMahon represents a good possibility for the Yankees. Not saying he's available yet. Obviously, the Rockies have not put him on the market officially. But with that said, he's got controllable years and can be somebody that they could play at third base. Okay, and again, where the Yankees are light right now are in corner infield positions, whether it be in the farm or in the big club. And again, you know, Ryan McMahon represents the third baseman. He can hit. He's got multiple controllable years on a good deal, and he's a solid defender as well. And he would represent a perfect fit for this team. So I could see if the Yankees were to bring in a bat, he would probably be the ideal bat to bring in. Somebody who could replace somebody here that we don't necessarily have. And again, it offers him the flexibility too to move DJ to a roving utility position. Okay, and still have other folks, because the fact is, the guys that we have in the minors right now, Corbin Vivas, Oswald Peraza, they're not hitting. Okay, and we're not going to bring up somebody who's hitting worse than DJ Lemahieu is at a lower level. That doesn't make any sense at all. Okay, let's just be candid about this. Okay, you know, and he more and more he looks like he's at the end of his rope here at the age of DJ Lemahieu. I like him. I'm happy that the Yankees brought him back. I thank him for what he's done, but it might be a wise idea to move him to the bench now. Okay, next up, Anthony Rizzo, another guy who's a pro like DJ. He's a great leader. He's a veteran, a fantastic teammate. Okay, but his bat is also way behind his glove. Okay, and the fact is, if they're going to hang with a team like the Dodgers and their offensive firepower, which they showed last night, even in surprising ways, we need to have more consistency on the offensive side, particularly when Juan Soto's not playing. Okay, Juan Soto missed the last 2 games. I'm not saying had he been in, the Yankees would have won both games. That's kind of premature. It's kind of far-fetched, but you never know. But it's no point speculating now. That's in the past. It's over. We got to go like this now. Move on to game 3. It's Luis Hill tonight versus Tyler Glasnow. That's going to be a good matchup. Okay, but the Yankees need to compete with teams like the Dodgers and other hard-hitting teams, right? They need to have a more robust balance on the back end of the lineup, at the very least with their veterans. Now, what could they do here? Well, there's guys like Ben Rice who could come up Now, Ben Rice is similar with Augustin Ramirez, these guys are both catchers / first baseman. Okay. And when you have guys with positional versatility like that who are catchers who can also play first base, and not only addresses the need for the Yankees to potentially fill in holes on the cheap, positions on the cheap, right? But also makes these people attractive trade targets. Okay. When you have a catcher who can play multiple positions, who's athletic, like Rice and Austin Ramirez is, and they can both hit, there's options there. Okay. And I know that they like Austin Wells, they like Jose Trevino. So, and to me, first base is a probably more glaring hole right now offensively than a catcher is. So maybe Ben Rice would represent a fit, which would give them also the opportunity to move Anthony Rizzo to the bench. Okay, so that they're not having to throw these kids to the wolves. You still have a veteran there, which still makes it easy for DJ Lemahieu to play multiple positions. So those are the two guys I think would be wise to be benched or moved to a different position. Okay. Lastly is a guy we know, Gleyber Torres. Okay. I like him, but I don't see him coming back to the Yankees. And I think we all know this already. We talk about this a lot. Okay. And the fact is, there isn't much you're going to get in a 4-minute trade right now because he's hitting okay, but his fielding is less than desirable, which helps negate his offensive output. Right? He's 27 years old. I don't even think he's played well enough to get a qualifying offer, because if he got a qualifying offer, if he got a QO, then he would probably accept it. And that would hamstring the Yankees payroll next year. And they need to do anything possible to make it as easier as possible to re-sign Juan Soto. Period. End of story. And giving $20 million to Gleyber Torres doesn't really seem like prudent investing. Fiscal responsibility, right? So he could also be replaced like a John Birdie, Oswaldo Cabrera, DJ LeMay. We have guys in-house that they could replace him with. And again, could you move him for international prospect money? Maybe you can get him there, because I have a feeling, initially I thought Gleyber Torres would get a QO and he'd move on. The Yankees would get some draft picks and so on and so forth. But I think Alex Verdugo is going to replace that. And Verdugo, I think, has either played well enough to get the Yankees to consider bringing him back, which I think is highly unlikely because they have guys like Spencer Jones and Jason Dominguez waiting in the wings, and even Oscar Gonzalez. Okay. He might be the guy to get a QO and get a better deal outside and give the Yankees the 2 draft picks and the international prospect money there instead of Torres. I mean, it would be nice if the Yankees did both, but I can't see that happening right now. But Gleyber Torres is likely, to me, in my opinion, the guy that needs to likely be moved by the deadline. Okay. And that's, to me, it's probably the most logical way to move him, is get some international prospect money here. I don't think you're going to get pitching. I don't think you're going to get draft picks, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I think we can get at this point. It's unfortunate it's got to be that way, but had you more offensively productive, you could have probably traded him for a haul, but that's not happening. Period. So those 3 guys, I think, need to have a new environment. Okay. And again, do I think the Yankees need to not only subtract but add? Yeah, I think they need to add probably a lefty reliever. You got Garrett Crochet in the market. You got other folks that are available too. So I think the Yankees will add to the bullpen. Yeah. And speaking of the bullpen, the Yankees made 2 roster moves. They've DFA'd right-handed pitcher Dennis Santana. I think a lot of people were hoping for that, and they've recalled Ron Marinaccio to replace him. So a net upgrade right now in bullpen. So that just happened a little bit ago, so I wanted to get that news to you. Again, they've DFA'd, designated for assignment, Dennis Santana, and they've recalled Ron Marinaccio up to the bullpen to replace him, a fresh arm, okay, who the Yankees like, who's been good for the Yankees. And Dennis Santana's been hit hard recently. So it's time for them to make that move. But I think, and let me know what your thoughts are, whether you agree or not. I mean, the Yankees can't be afraid to make these moves and say, look, Anthony, we need you to do now. Like, the Anthony Rizzo has not done enough for the Yankees to exercise his option for 2025. It's a team option, so it's up to them to decide or not. They can move on from him and save like almost $20 million payroll. DJ's got 2 more years left, so after this year. So my guess he's gonna be around, which mean more palatable. He's a bench player or the roving utility guy. And Gleyber Torres, I don't think he's coming back after this year. So why not try to move him for, at the very least, international money? See what you can get for him. You're not going to get players that are going to be upgrades or benefits to this team. I highly doubt that, unless Cashman pulls a rabbit out of his hat, which he does sometimes. So I'm not ruling it out completely, but I'm not banking on it either. Okay, so these three guys need to change the scenery, whether it be the bench, whether it be a different or a utility position, whether it be another team. Okay, give me your thoughts, King. Okay, and I'm looking forward to the day when Garrett Cole comes back too, because he's going to be in that add to the rotation. And what they do there, I don't know. Does Nestor Cortez go into long relief with Luke Weaver, with Cody Poteet, like with JT Brubaker? They've got a hell of a lot more depth at long relief if that happens. Having a lefty with those righties probably be a good idea. And I mean, there's no better acquisition in baseball, the Yankees, than getting Garrett Cole back. None. Nobody you can trade for is gonna be better than him. Nobody. So that's my 2 cents. Let me know what your thoughts are. Load up the comments, okay? Make sure you hit the like button if you enjoy the content too. I thank you so much for it. Okay. I'll be back later on. And I'll come again, Luis Hill versus Tyler Glasnow. It's going to be a good pitching matchup tonight. Now let's get this series finished on a good note. Take one of these games. Go Yankees. Talk to you later.